So I wanted to now talk about a little bit about your students and how, if a student will come to this gym, first off, how do you kind of integrate them into the group? What are some of the first things you teach them about jiu-jitsu in the gym? How do you get them started?
It depends like what the stage this person is getting. Like if it's a completely newbie, but I try to approach them in the same way. But obviously, if it's like a newbie, I need to help him to start or help her to start from scratch. If it's someone that has trained somewhere else, has a bit of experience, I first see or try to see take some sessions, some time to see where this person is level-wise, because every gym has their own standards. So from my standard, where this person is. But the first thing that I do with everybody, or I try to do everybody that steps into the gym, is and acknowledge them by their name. That's the first thing. From the beginning, I always thought that's important, because it means something to me when the coach would acknowledge myself by my name, or not just hey, hey mate, or hey, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And with any newbie, for me, my priority is they have to do the beginners program that we have, where we don't do sparring. Some places do, but I don't do it. Some maybe mainly a safety reason. So I want that person, that whenever someone joins the intermediate advanced class session, I want that person to be a good training partner for everybody and a safe training partner. So they don't have a bit of crazy reactions, or they panic a bit and then they start kicking, in the face or whatever, just for the reaction. So I try to avoid that. And having the beginners program, and take them just showing the very basics, and also just how to stay a bit calm when you are under pressure, and then try to keep yourself safe, but also looking after whoever you're training with. That's the approach that I do.
3, 2, 1. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Jeoffrey Sarpong podcast. Today I have with me Coach Enrique. Coach, how are you?
I'm good, Jeff. Thank you for coming today.
Well, thank you for having me today. This is I'm super looking forward to this. Everyone who watches my channel knows that I'm a big jiu-jitsu fan, and I've always wanted to talk to. I always want to get more jiu-jitsu content on here, speak to more jiu-jitsu coaches and practitioners and competitors. And so today is very excited to be speaking with you today. So thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming.
Of course. And let's to get the audience a bit more familiar with who you are and where we are in the gym a little bit. Let's start with you. Talk to me about your kind of first introduction to jiu-jitsu. When did you step onto the mat for the first time? Do you remember that day?
Yeah, I do. This is a long time ago. This is maybe it was a very long time ago, 2000, 25 years is gonna be. And I have a friend back then. Jiu-jitsu was very. I'm originally from Mexico, and jiu-jitsu was very small back then, and in Mexico was pretty much non-existent. And he was very into martial arts, and he would fight. He would watch a lot of UFC matches back then, from the beginning of it, and I would be always with him watching and talking about it, and he had a chance to train BJJ once with someone that he knew, and after that he started to get into videotapes and magazines. We didn't have YouTube or anything back then. So, and then he asked me once, like, if I wanted to, to start doing a little bit with him, just the two of us. And he was very good in breaking things down, and he was very technical. And we just start training like that, like twice a week in a gym, which had like mats.
Was in Mexico? Was it just you two?
That was in Mexico.
Oh wow! Was it a gym already there, or just a gym you two?
No, just a normal gym that happened that they had mats.
Oh wow!
Very weird, because like back then, no mats, no gyms would have mats.
Yeah.
And then we had like a couple of more friends, and usually would do like one day just working on technique, and the other day would be just sparring, like very wild.
What was the sparring like?
Very wild, because the difference of sizes in between us was like among everybody, it was like either too small or too big. So we knew very little techniques and stuff, and it was wild. Then after like a couple of, I would say after a year, we came across with a gym that actually they have like a blue belt training, taking the classes. And then we went there, start training with them, and that was with the gi. So we start training with the gi. Among us, we were training like just without the gi. Then we start training properly with the gi, and then we start training there. I stopped for a bit, and back then it was a little bit difficult. In general, I think this happened generally everywhere. Like you didn't have the chance to train every day, so it was maybe 2-3 times a week, and that's it.
Is that because there just wasn't enough?
There wasn't enough
out there. Yeah.
I guess people training and demand for it. So usually, I remember we would train Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So once I started training Fridays, my social kind of
complete no social life.
The social life was out of it.
Yeah.
And I started training a lot, like on those days. And then again, like sometimes I would stop for months. I think the first like 4 or 5 years was like that, constantly, like on and off, until but that was the way that I started, like that it happened, like I came across with the sport. I knew jiu-jitsu before, because I was watching UFC and everything, but I've never like pretty much thought about training. I wasn't into martial arts, wasn't into boxing, watching boxing a lot, but I was always into sports. Like I was always very sporty, like since a kid. And what helped me, or what made me really got into jiu-jitsu, wasn't the self-defense aspect or anything, was the exercise aspect of it. Like you work every single thing, right? And I would finish super tired.
Yes.
And every session would be like feeling exhausted. That was like the thing, like really just took me to keep training.
Yeah, no, I have the very similar story. Like, so when I started like a year ago now. Yeah, it's like a year ago, maybe 2 years actually. But it was the same thing. I went to a gym. They had a jiu-jitsu, martial arts, and kind of kickboxing thing. So previously I did like kickboxing a little bit, all of these different sports, but I never really kind of felt pulled to it. Like I did it for the kind of exercise aspect of it. But then when I did jiu-jitsu, was the first time that I just loved doing the sparring sessions and the training and all of it. But then, yeah, like you said, when I finish and I'd be going home, I'll be completely exhausted. Yeah. And then you just, that feeling when you're just like, you get home and then you feel spent. You feel like you just kind of, you have nothing left, because when you train or when you do sparring session, you have to give everything.
Yeah.
You have to give everything every single session. Because the other person is going to do the same thing.
When they're going to pay for it.
Exactly. So if you don't. But okay, in my research for this, I found, like I was telling you before, I found that one of your nicknames was the Furia. First of how do you pronounce that? But also,
just La Furia.
La Furia.
It's,
what does that mean, and where did you get the name?
It just means the fury, basically. And I got it from my coach. I think it was like a purple belt back then. And then he started calling me like that, and then just stick to me.
It's just the kind of stuff.
And then I keep it up to date now. Like I like up to now, like still.
What is it? Because I was wondering what it says about your style of fight.
Yeah, it's it means like, I think when I it doesn't happen all the time. When for instance, I'm training or sparring, and I can be very chill. But then like I can switch and then just go for it. Especially when I play on top, I try to play kind of a speed, using speed. Yeah, pretty much. Just like I can turn it off.
You just touch switches.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's so fascinating to me. So talk to me a little bit more about your kind of competition and like your style when it comes to competitions. How do you approach yourself? How do you approach competitions?
Competition is for me, it's more like a learning tool, really. I think at least on the point that I am at the moment in BJJ, competition is not going to take me anywhere else. If I was like very young, I would be competing like in a high level adult sort of level. Then I think it's different. But at my age, at the point that I am in my jiu-jitsu, it's like it's really more like a learning tool again. Like for me, seeing jiu-jitsu without competing, like the thing is understanding where I come from and in the sense of sports. I always did the sports competitive, a competitive manner. So for me, do any kind of sports without competing, it's kind of a bit weird. And jiu-jitsu in particular, like I start competing since white belt. And I was at the beginning was just a challenge of seeing what of my jiu-jitsu was working on that different kind of environment. Now it's more than the competition itself. It helps a lot, but it's the process towards the competition. Those like 6 to 8 weeks that I'm just focusing my jiu-jitsu in sharpening the jiu-jitsu and kind of like fixing holes that I need to fix. That process is what I'm looking when I'm competing, more than the result itself or the competition. That's what I'm looking for. And I really like the competition aspect of it. Like, you go there, it's just you, the other person, nothing else matter, and be present at that point.
Yeah.
And how you kind of react to someone that you not necessarily know in their game. That at this point, I know a lot of them, people that I have compete, and we compete again against each other. But sometimes you came across with someone that I don't know this person much, even if you do a little bit of research, but you don't know exactly how it's going to react to your game. That's very interesting to me. But yeah, like answering your question is like, I'm looking for the process of getting better and test my jiu-jitsu and keeping me sharp. If I don't compete, I don't train with the same intensity. I feel a bit lazy. I train and everything, but it's not the same mindset. So for me, at least personally, to improve, I think it's competition is a big part of it. Like if I don't have the competition, it's like I feel like I get a little bit stagnant.
You mentioned that you kind of use it as a process to build up to that competition.
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of train in a certain type of way in order to kind of rival the competition with all the holes plugged. How's that changed from when you were, say, you were a white belt to where you are now? I can imagine it's probably changed a lot.
I changed. I mean, it has changed a lot, particularly because like up to the point that I had my own gym, I would just follow whatever my coach would tell me to do in order to prepare for the competition. And I would do my extra thing, like maybe strength and conditioning part and stuff like that. I would do it on my side. But jiu-jitsu wise, I would leave it to my coach. I would do my drills and everything for things like I would try to get better at it, but like in training, I wouldn't have the input. It would be my coach, and then I just would follow. Now it's different because as a coach, so that's the tricky part. Like kind of disconnect and try to prepare myself. But it's been myself now, the one that has to organize my own training and my own kind of like understand what I need to work on, and at the same time prepare the other ones to get ready as well. That's the tricky part. Sometimes when we have sessions, I cannot, especially sessions like involve a lot of a specific training, let's say, sometimes I cannot take part of it because I'm watching what's happening and maybe to point out mistakes or things that we can improve. Just watching, right? Everybody, how they are developing through the cycles that we do. So I don't have that. So I have to compensate in different ways. I think that's a big challenge as a coach when you want to compete. How are you gonna keep, preparing yourself to it without necessarily damage the training of everybody else?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I cannot be selfish and say like,
Exactly,
I'm just gonna train myself and I cannot do that. I don't feel like I can do that.
But I can imagine also you have that because you're still a competitor yourself.
Yeah, and it's still like I still have the the feeling that I want to compete. I still feel it. But yeah, it's tricky sometimes to get ready. That's a big challenge. Like I have had competitions that I haven't been able to prepare as I wanted because I didn't manage to organize it the way that I needed. But I do the most when that happens. I do the most of it, and I still go compete, try to see what can I fix for the next time. It's constantly like trial and error, and then try to adjust.
All the time. As the one thing I have seen in research that you have won a lot of competitions and you've done this for a long time, like you were saying. At this point, do you view jiu-jitsu as like a sport? Do you view it as like obviously as a martial art, or do you kind of see it as like a way of life? It just is how you've kind of show up.
Like that's part of my jiu-jitsu is pretty much part of my life. It's like my entire day is around
jiu-jitsu,
the gym, the classes, like running the gym, but it's all about jiu-jitsu. Like in a gym, I only have jiu-jitsu classes. I don't have I decided from the very early stage that I was gonna only do. The main reason I opened the gym was because I wanted to teach jiu-jitsu, and for me, from the personal side, it didn't make any sense to put anything else. For a business side, maybe, but like I didn't have massive space here to have other things. So I make it very clear, like I only want to focus on jiu-jitsu. It's gonna take a bit longer. So that's again, that's kind of part of myself, very much. I do it again. I still do it for this sport aspect of it. There is a lot of people, most people, I think they do it or they got into because of the self-defense aspect. Personally, I still don't do it because of that. There's a lot of things we do in training that I would never do in the street or in a self-defense situation. I know what I would be able to do, what I wouldn't be able to do, but I'm not training to do that. Like, I think, I'm not like I don't criticize that, but personally I don't do it like that. I just do it because I love the sport. I love the physicality and kind of like the fact like keeps me in shape, in good shape. And another thing that has is in the long term, if you look after your injuries and you're sensible, you are gonna have a more long. You're gonna be able to train for way longer than boxing or other fighting styles where you have striking. Which one thing that I wouldn't ever try to mess is with the head. Right? In the long term, it's like the only thing that if you keep it sharp, it's gonna keep you here. Right?
Yeah, is your head. Yeah, absolutely. I think also you mentioned kind of like how your whole kind of life is around jiu-jitsu too, and even when I did it for a little bit, I realized that it changed the way I approached a lot of things, just eating or even
and that's the thing. It did for me as well. In the early stages, what I told you, Fridays was training day.
And socializing.
Because I realized like if we have trained when I was training only with my friend, we will train Thursdays and Saturdays. So if I go out on a Friday, Saturday would be like really I wouldn't be able to train properly.
Exactly.
And on Saturday I was too tired. But it would ruin my session, for a Saturday if I messed up on Friday.
Yeah. I realized that too, and it was like just making sure that outside of the gym, even I was actually behaving in the right way, like a jiu-jitsu practitioner would. Like running. Also, I like cardio because I realized cardio was important in those sessions, even though you can't stimulate the sparring cardio.
It's different.
It's different, but you can still kind of, when running does help a little bit, so that kind of helped. So a question I had for you was, when did you think that training jiu-jitsu at that early stage, how did that change you as a person outside of the gym? Like, and how you approach things, like you were saying, like socializing became more of a...
I would say that was the disrupting side probably for me. Like how, I start changing a little bit my lifestyle in that sense. Although again, I have been into sports like all the time. But like it got to the point like all my day is functioning around jiu-jitsu. Don't know if it has changed anything in terms of how I approach things. I don't know that though. I don't know. It's been too long. I would say.
Fair enough.
To kind of like telling you something. Because it's been pretty much 25 years training, even if it's been at times on and off at the beginning. But it's been ever since.
Yeah. Well, I hope to get to 25 years. That's kind of the goal. So you're where a lot of us are trying to reach at, So hope I get.
But that thing is like, it's more like I don't see myself without it now. Whilst that's what happens when you start training, that's not part of you. Right? It's like you're just doing it as an extra activity or something. For me, it's like I literally wake up thinking about like something about jiu-jitsu related to
Jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Not necessarily technique, but like can be like preparing a class or something related to the gym, or I have to get ready because I have private class. You know, it's literally
everything is
pretty
around
much
that.
24/7.
Yeah.
And for a practitioner that is starting and or is not that committed, is different, right? You have other priorities, and but I guess that happens with anything, with anything else, right?
Yeah.
You get into something, and then that thing you put it as part of yourself.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been doing the podcast for a little bit, so like a year and a half or so, and it's been that way too. I think when you get serious about something, that's kind of what
you
happens.
Have to put your energy.
You have to put everything into it, and so everything I wake up, okay, thinking about it, and then if you leave it alone, it'll just stay still. So you yourself are thinking, how do I improve it? How do I do more? Well, what else haven't I done? What can I do more? And then it just becomes a thing where you can keep doing it. So I wanted to now talk about a little bit about your students and how, if a student will come to this gym, first off, how do you kind of integrate them into the group? What are some of the first things you teach them about jiu-jitsu in the gym? How do you get them started?
It depends like what the stage this person is getting, like if it's a completely newbie. But I try to approach them in the same way. But obviously, if it's like a newbie, I need to help him to start, or help her to start from scratch. If it's someone that has trained somewhere else, has a bit of experience, I first try to see like take some sessions, some time to see where this person is level-wise, because every gym has their own standards. So from my standard, where this person is. But the first thing that I do with everybody, or I try to do like everybody that steps into the gym, is and acknowledge them by their name. That's the first thing. So if you did a trial class or sign up for a trial class, as soon as you step here, usually I know, usually I have one or two people for a trial class. When it's more, then it's a bit different, but it's like that. I kind of know like, oh, this person should be this. And I ask him, are you Jeff? And then I try to kind of like just acknowledge them. I think that's important, like by their name from the beginning. And every time that they step up, the same thing. Like I try to name every single person by their name. Sometimes it's tricky because the bandwidth is
so many new faces.
But yeah, and also even with the old faces, you are kind of like, I do that as an exercise of remember the names. Like whenever someone comes, tell his name, and I keep reminding like at least the faces, names, and everything. But I think from the beginning, I always thought like that's important, because it means something to me when the coach would acknowledge myself by my name, or not just like hey mate, or hey like bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the first step that I always take. And every person is different in terms of like how they learn. Some people are open to, and that happens in any level, right? Some people are open for feedback. Some people are not open. So you have to test those stuff as well.
Yeah.
When they are not that open for feedback, then I step back a bit until I see that they are asking for the help. When they are really taking the feedback on board, then it's a bit easier. But it's again, every person is different.
It's different, yeah.
And with any newbie, for me, my priority is they have to do the beginners program that we have. where we don't do sparring. Some places do, but I don't do it. So maybe mainly a safety reason. So I want that person that whenever someone joins the intermediate advanced class session, I want that person to be a good training partner for everybody and a safe training partner. So they don't have like, a bit of crazy reactions or they panic a bit and then they start like kicking, in the face or whatever, just for the reaction. So I try to avoid that. And having the beginners program and, take them like just showing the very basics, and also just how to stay like a bit in calm when you're under pressure, and then try to keep yourself safe, but also like looking after whoever you're training with. That's like the approach that I do. The tricky part is when someone joins from other gyms or other places or other countries but trained before, and then they might be training for a bit longer, like maybe, I don't know, like a year or so, but maybe what I'm looking into fundamentals is not what they have, or maybe they're still a bit kind of like having those crazy reactions a bit. So that approaching that's a bit like a bit more difficult because I'm not starting from scratch. I think that the person when they do the class with me, at least I'm talking about the gym, right? When they start with me, by the time that they go to the other class, they don't even feel
the difference.
The difference in terms of like if they were wild or not when they were in the beginners class. Still, they might be a little bit wild, but not as much as can happen. Well, sometimes like you have someone new from other that trained before for a bit, comes here and then it's a bit wild, and then to bring that person back down is a little bit can be challenging, but like it's just the culture of the gym, I guess, is what helps as well to
calm them down a little bit. Yeah. You mentioned like especially those kind of new practitioners when they come, like teaching them to stay calm, teaching them not to react too crazy under pressure. What's some like advice you tell them when like to this start new
things like when they are doing no, I don't know, specific oppositional sparring or specific training with them is usually you start in a bad position, right? And the other person in a good position.
Yeah.
So I always stress a lot, like if you're in a bad position, you don't want to make it worse. If you're in side control, you don't want to be in the mount, or you don't want to give the back. You don't want to get submitted. What might help that to happen is your reaction, and you're panicking, and then you're starting to push,
giving back,
giving the back. So I stress a lot, like the first thing that you have to accept is like you're in a bad position, and then just close everything you can, and then start working, identifying exactly where you are, what kind of control the person has. Take some seconds, to kind of like breathe a bit, because maybe that happened in a scramble, right, in training, and you're just getting tired and tired, and every time that you get tired, it's gonna get worse. So I kind of like stress a lot, like just accept like you are already in a bad position, shut everything you can to avoid getting into a worse position or a submission, and then from there you start working. Sometimes your technique is gonna work, sometimes it's not gonna work because of the timing. Maybe the technique wasn't great what you were doing, but it's hard to remain as calm as possible.
And then switching from defensive to attacking, say you're trying to pass a guard. What advice, what do you tell your
I always say like one of the things that I always try to advise is in passing, is get to a good pit stop where the pass is pretty much there. That's what you are fighting for. Once that you get there, you can start taking it easy, make the other person a bit stressed, and the pass is right there. Like sort of like a leg drag position or a position that pretty much the pass is there, but you haven't passed yet, but it's there. Like it's just about one move. Looking into that, for me, is like it's a good spot because it's very difficult that you're gonna miss the pass, but then the other person is gonna start getting like a bit knows what's coming, and sometimes it's not possible to stop it, but it's just like making the person a bit more stressed, more vulnerable for the pass, if you will.
And then in terms of sort of thinking about me, for example, right, because everything you said I relate to, right? And one of the things I struggled with at the beginning was I would tire myself out because, like you said, if I'm about to make that pass, I want to make it straight away.
Yeah.
And then the person will be kind of resisting, and then in that resisting, I get breathless, or like, and then I get, and it turns. So a lot of things I was told was about like watch my breathing. What do you told your students about breathing techniques?
I always do it on the opposite side though. Like when you are, for instance, when you are passing, or when you're in a good position in side control, let's say, or in a good position, right? Always listen to the breathing. That tells you
about the person.
That tells about the person. If the person is tired, if the person is stressed. When I train with someone that the person is breathing very heavy or kind of in a stressful way, I try to kind of back off a bit, because usually means they are stressed in the training, and they are gonna do you are gonna end up like with a kick or with a knee on the face or something, because they are getting stressed, and then as soon as they feel threatened, they start pushing, doing everything they can to. So I tend to back off a bit, just to be a little bit safer,
protect yourself.
Not getting a nonsense hit or anything. And then I engage again. If I'm in a very good position and I see that they are breathing like heavy, and that's when I go more, because then they're getting tired. The timing of defense is not going to be that great. I reflect a lot in the breathing, but more on the opposite side of myself. Myself, I try to keep it like, or I try to tell them like, to not kind of like start breathing a lot, or breathing how do you say it, I forgot the name.
Like heavy breathing.
Yeah, but
like
it's more
through your mouth, or like
hyperventilate.
Like that. Yeah.
Then you're gonna get tired.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in rounds, right? Because like you're really just up and down. Maybe you're doing like a thing where you're going, 6 minutes and 1 minute break. You have to
like a Shark Tank.
Yeah, you have to really be able to control your breathing and just make sure you're not wasting energy.
Yeah, breathing is massively important in training, but that's something that also like experience gives you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's in any sports. Every sport, the way that you need to breathe is different. Swimming, it will be super different.
Yeah.
As training, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can have a super good breathing technique here and last forever. You go swimming.
Yeah.
Without having the experience of a swimmer, and then you're gonna end up getting tired in 20 meters, 50 meters.
Yeah, exactly.
That thing is kind of particular to the sport and the person as well. Another experience is like a massive. I think it's a massive.
No, I completely agree. I think on that point, one thing I had to really learn, and I think these things are like things that would take months and months to teach someone, but we're kind of shortening into a little bit of advice here. But another thing I had to learn was timing. So the timing of certain moves, or timing.
Timing is like the most important part.
Yeah,
like
talking about how important is timing for people.
You can understand. One thing is understanding the mechanics of a technique, But the other thing is understanding the timing, and that the timing is experience, because it's like it's being in that position for so long that you understand when is the right moment and when is not the right moment. And sometimes that's the most difficult part to teach, because sometimes it's feeling.
Yeah.
There are certain things or cues that you can use for the timing, but that's connected with your head and with your mechanics, with your body, right? And that's something like I can tell you like, oh, wait for this to happen. But you don't know that kind of like microsect, like he's gonna go for this, he's going for this. And then when you don't know that because you don't have the experience, when you try, it might be a bit late because you recognize it just a bit later, right? That kind of cue.
Yeah.
It's experience. It's math time.
Yes, absolutely.
You know? And it's again, it's going to try and error, like until you start getting. And it's funny when you can start hitting a technique without realizing you are hitting the technique until a few times later you say, I've been hitting this move a lot without even thinking about it. That means you are getting everything now. The timing, the mechanics.
Yeah, I find that happens a lot in specific sparring, where it's like,
and that's but the specific is the hardest one, right? Because everybody knows the rules, and everybody knows like it's very constraints are like very, a lot of constraint, right? So like you have to still execute whatever the goal
know when it's going to happen
with that, and everybody knows what's happening.
Right?
But if you manage to do it on that, it's more likely that you're going to end up doing it in training.
Exactly, and then more likely that you figured out the basic, the technique and the timing and like everything that you're doing is not an accident. It's something that you've been able to realize and feel because you understand it, especially in that part. One thing I wanted to also ask is that what submissions for yourself do you like find yourself going back to? Like, what submissions do you like? I know you've been competing for a long time, and probably people have seen you do many different submissions, but at the beginning, what were some issues that you felt like, okay, I like this one, I can understand this one more than any others?
More than the submission, I think it was because every time you try to do, especially when you're a beginner, if someone, for instance, teach you how to do a number, right? Let's say a number from close guard. You do everything right, all your grips, try to do everything. But now you have resistance, now you have like, and the timing and everything. It's kind of hard to kind of like get it, right? And when you try, you fail, and then you get in a worse position or whatever. Like, and then when you go with a stronger guys or a bit more experience, it's way more tricky. This is like in a kind of beginner context. Something that it helped me a lot to understand maybe the timing and also how things are connected. Because one thing that at the beginning is hard to get is like jiu-jitsu is not linear, right? It's not like, like this is gonna happen this, then this, then this. It can go different ways. So you have to connect with other stuff.
Or the different ways.
Connecting those dots or those different ways to do it is difficult. Or different attacks or different techniques or whatever, it's difficult. But one thing that for me was like back then a game changer was just a drill of connecting. I remember it was I still today they do it for the beginners classes. Like you go for an armbar, the person that defend the armbar, you go for an omoplata, the person defend the omoplata, you go for a triangle, and it's just like the flow, trying to get the flow between
the different submissions,
submissions
when
and
someone stops it, you can
the different reactions to what you are trying to do, and that and grips also like. It's like we don't understand the importance of the grips. until you start actually focusing on the grips. Those two things for me was like a game changer, because I was more able to start getting into submissions or holding or creating openings. Yeah, so it was like more than the technique itself. It was just understanding like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do, like react to whatever like they're doing, initiating something, and then I might not necessarily get the first move, but if I follow up that move, it will take me to something else.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that's something I really see when I do kind of flow sparring, where it's like, you're not just stopping in anything, you're kind of moving, and then like you said, you're connecting.
Seeing the openings, and
you don't just stop at a move. If it doesn't work, you don't just stop. You realize, okay, now he's in this position, how can I do this? I think that's
a lot as well.
Yeah.
Like for sure, if you do the flow roll properly, it really helps just to see the openings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and the reaction doing things like you normally don't do, but because there is no threat of like, oh, I'm gonna mess it up here. It allows you to kind of open up yourself a bit.
100%. Okay, I wanted to now talk a little bit more about the gym. So first, talk to me about where it started from, when it opened, and a little bit more about the culture here at the gym. And what culture do you want to kind of make here?
Yeah, so what we do is we started in June 2018, around 7 years now, and they started like super small, just with a small core group that was already training with me, and then just starting from pretty much again from scratch, always with the idea of having sort of a included sort of culture, and also like a lot focus on safety and cleanliness everywhere. Like I don't think you see it now as before, but like the experience to sometimes go to a gym wasn't very pleasant in many ways. In the sense, like a lot of gyms didn't have like changing rooms, maybe a reception area. The cleanest is like, some of those places were horrible. And the problem with that is like, that is very underrated, but it's you expose yourself, to a place that is not very clean, and then you can end up with, nasty infections in the skin, and which I had before, and yeah, it's horrible. So, and that's something that I learned from where I was training before, where like they would clean everything after like we would finish the day, and it would be like 2 hours or 1 hour and a half of cleaning the whole thing. Like, so I wanted to take part, like, kind of that, and yeah, and then I think if you see the reviews of the gym, is like I think the main thing like people stress is the fact that we are as a gym very super clean, and being focused like in being as a group very technical, stressing that I that's something that I stress a lot in the group. Like you can be very strong, but there is only so much the strength can take you. Like if you were someone against same size, strength or more, maybe the strength is not going to be enough. The weight is not going to be enough to help you. So I try to stress that a lot. Like focus on the technique, focus on being technical. It doesn't have to be beautiful, the technique, but if you focus on the technical aspect, it's going to take you way longer, way
further, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's part of the training. I try to stress it a lot.
And in terms of the kind of people you culture community you create at the gym, what do you stress in that? Like when people come in, I know a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms are welcoming, you know, and you might have a few people here and there, but you kind of deal with it. But how do you do that?
We've been able to, or lucky, to kind of like, usually we have like people that join here have like a good vibe and good attitude, and from time to time happens like someone, you know, doesn't tick the boxes, and it's you don't feel like it's a great addition. But when that happens, usually they just leave. So I guess they don't feel like they fit, or I don't know. But we're lucky enough, to be honest. I don't feel like we have had that problem many times. Like usually, it's a very tight group, and also the group in general is very welcoming. Whenever we have someone joining the session, especially like when it's the more experienced like group, they all the time kind of take the new guy, like work with them a bit, kind of like make the transition that a little bit harder. It's kind of, I mean, it doesn't matter. The gym can be intimidating to just go to a new gym, see how it goes, and usually I think we have that culture, like opening, very opening kind of like attitude.
And so for someone just already training here, what would you say makes a good or great training partner? You know, like that attitude of, like you said, like being welcoming and stuff like that. But when you're training against someone, let's say for competition, but also just to learn.
Oh, for me, it's always give a fair match to your training partner, in the sense like, if you are bigger, don't just try to impose.
Don't smother them. Yeah.
You know, try to kind of like match as much as possible. It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's very tricky. But if you have, but that's a skill as well. And if you develop that skill, you will have like so many fun rounds, like instead of just smashing a like you can learn so much from the other person when, you know, they cannot give you that strength match. That's what I try to encourage, like give a fair match. And you don't have to be either like jelly, you know, and then like, oh, you know, just pass my guard. It's not about that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like keep as fair as possible. Like the other person feels like whatever they are doing, they are earning whatever they are, you know, getting. And the same to you, without necessarily like just like, you know, go for it and smash it.
No, 100%. I think those are my favorite sparring sessions, when I can see, even if they're way ahead of me, the other person will kind of help me in the area that
gives you room to work.
Exactly. Right? So then you kind of grow even in that sparring session, because you know they could just smash you, but actually they're giving you, you know, low, and you can learn from that.
And you don't need to prove necessarily anything.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, like, that kind of happens. I think that happens in every gym. Egos you have everywhere, and everybody has an ego, right? But it's keeping that ego as down as possible, in your benefit as well. Because again, like, if I go against someone like is heavier than me, I would understand like how to deal with the pressure, right? But if that person give me the chance to work a bit with the massive pressure, right? If it's just like, you know, that's not the point. Or if I go against someone like I'm bigger than them. Like maybe the speed game can work for both of us, and I can learn more how to react with speed.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I always wonder too, how do you balance, obviously in the gym, you get competitors, people who come here and compete, and just new beginners, but they're both all training the same. How do you balance kind of like
beginners, they have their own session, so they don't clash. It happens when they start moving to the other class. But it's again being able to give a fair match and understanding that not every match is for the dead.
Yeah.
If you go against a newbie, it's just like give a good match, try to be more technical there. If you go against someone like is a competitor and you're a competitor, then try to go for it, try to kind of like keep your mindset, their competition mindset. Or if you have the guys like they never compete but are super tough, right? So when you are there, it's like the same mentality, right? Yeah, it's like don't give anything, try to go for it. Try to find that balance whenever this is like a time to go for it, or this is a time to.
Yeah.
We have also like I think something that helps here is we have cycles of like 4 to 6 weeks, and the first part of the cycles are very technical. The first weeks are just like working on technique, exploring the options, the reactions, and then we don't focus much on a specific training on those sessions. What we do is by the end of the cycle, the last 2 weeks of the cycle, we only focus on a specific training. So we have our warm-up routine would be drilling whatever we are working on the cycle, and after that, whenever we have the 2 weeks of a specific training, it's just we set the rules, the groups, and then you go. And on those 2 weeks is when I stress like you cannot lose position, you cannot not you have to earn whatever you get. Make it easier in the sense like we try to accommodate groups in similar levels and sizes so that they can try to go for it. So we have the space for that, right?
You create that kind of space for the people who want to do that, but you've built that.
But also like at the end of the day, if you are training jiu-jitsu, there's some stuff that you want to kind of like have in your training, which is at some point is like if you're going for it, you don't want to give up position, you don't want to like get swept, get taken down, get submitted. So that's the space that I have for that mindset. Whenever we go into those 2 weeks, everybody has to be in that mindset. When we finish a specific training, then we go a little bit more relaxed. When it's time to sparring, it's not necessarily about that. Unless the person is competing and it's like, work on the mindset at that time. But for the group wise, it's like we have the space for that, and we have the space for the other bit as well, like the more relaxed bit, if you will.
Speaking on mindset, when you're competing, obviously it's great when you win and everything's goes great, but when you lose also it's difficult. How do you kind of help people handle failure from not even just competition, but just when you're starting out? It's difficult.
That's hard because it's very personal, right? I don't mind. 'Cause I don't get sad, or I don't get sad or angry because I lose. Like I think I always try to give credit to. It's in my best interest to give credit
to the
opponent, right? Because like if I start with saying like, "Oh, I was better than them," why did you lose the first place?
Exactly,
right? So I always try to give credit to my opponent, and you have to be on your day to kind of like win, especially tournaments. Like you're out. If you lose in the first round, you're out, or in any round, you're out. So myself, I keep it simple. It didn't happen my way. Just like learn the most of it, and then work on that. If I win, I check my matches, because for sure I made mistakes that probably they didn't capitalize, or sometimes I felt like I did this mistake. I need to check it again, and that's, and brush it up, right? There's nothing like nobody's gonna remember the next day.
Yeah,
and that's what I try to do to tell anyone who competes is like, don't take it too serious. Take it serious enough to put the effort, but not too serious that you're gonna be sad if the result is not there.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, have fun.
Exactly.
It's like, if you don't have fun, there's no point to do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's hard to make, because it's something hard, right? But like, have fun with it. It's like, get used to it. You know, get used to the fact, like in jiu-jitsu, you're gonna be uncomfortable, but you need to be comfortable. And that can be in training, that can be in competition, that can be anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But in competition, it's just brush it up. Like, if it's a bad day, just come back the next day, keep working on, and one day is gonna be your day, right? I think the hardest part, especially for people like don't compete a lot, is they get too much into competing one day, they finish, and then what that happens is, like, regardless of the result, they just stop.
Yeah.
And then then what happens is that they don't take advantage of the momentum that they develop during the process. Right? Maybe you're not gonna compete in a month. Slow down a bit, but don't lose the momentum. Like, all the gains, in technique and timing and fitness, don't lose it, man.
Yeah, exactly. Building it. It's like you were saying, like, even watching the games back, like, I competed before, and when I watched, I was like, okay, I could have lost that so much, so easily. I needed to do this. And then win or lose, you can see what you needed to. It's like a whole new version of a training session, basically.
And also, like, sometimes you think you were moving in certain way, right? And when you see the video back, it's not what I thought it was, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So always you can at least work and things like that.
Yeah.
Mistakes and everything.
Is there like adrenaline when you're competing? Also, like, in the moment, you're just so much adrenaline like you've never had before. So,
and that's another thing, it's experience, coming back to experience.
Yeah.
And understanding, like, what aspects of competition you need to improve in order to perform better. For me, I think the biggest one was a warm-up, right? Like, having done a bad warm-up before a comp was, or not finding, it's more like not finding what kind of warm-up works for you, right? Because everybody can tell you, like, oh, do this or do that, and might not work for you. But finding that thing, like, allows you to kind of be, have a good warm-up, be ready, get your lungs, like, open, not have these jelly legs, and just ready to go. For me, it took me a long time to find it, right? And I think that's one of the things that I always tell the guys when they're competing. Don't underestimate the warm-up, because that dictates how you're gonna start your first match.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously, you've had such a long jiu-jitsu career, and you've kind of gone from white belt to black belt. What has shifted in your mentality? What are some of the things that you've had to kind of, like, I don't know, accept about jiu-jitsu as a sport, or like realize about, you've talked a lot today about, like, experience, right? And a lot of these things, you're right, it's just learning to do more and more, you get experience.
It's just like the fact, like, you are always gonna keep learning. It's just like, if you get from white to black belt, when you get to black belt, you still have most of us got still like big holes. You just know how to maybe hide them, hide those holes, right? But it's a constant. You cannot accept that you know it all, because it's not. It's like, if you do that, then you're going backwards. For me, it's just accepting, like, when I train with someone like is more experienced than me, I felt like, oh man, I don't know anything. I still feel like a white belt in that sense, right?
Wow. That makes it so impressive too, because it just shows that, like, no matter how good you get, like, this is a sport where you can always improve.
It's mad time, right?
Yeah.
Whoever has made the most of that mad time, it's still like, I don't know, if I go with, in my division, for instance, I can be with people like that they just got the black belt, or I can go against someone like it's a 25 years black belt at the same time that I've been training. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is the average of like having 2.5 black belts, right?
Yeah.
If you consider like
years, the time it takes to get one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that disparity is crazy, right? The amount of experience and knowledge that guy has can be very intimidating as well. And sometimes even just rolling with those guys will make you feel like, oh man, I still don't know anything.
Jiu-Jitsu is unique in that way, where even the older people, most sports, it's a young man's game, like football, like whatever. The younger you are, if there's a certain age, you have more speed or power, but with Jiu-Jitsu, you can kind of compensate for the speed and power with technique and experience.
It does, but definitely size and age matter. Like if you are talking about like world class, right, Jiu-Jitsu, that still matters. Like if you want someone like is not even in their prime, 28 years old, black belt, like competing every weekend or often, right? And they are against the best. And then you put it against like someone like is more experienced black belt, maybe have a better understanding in the game. But if you put into role, the age has like a
big factor.
If the older guy is not an active competitor, like sharp, it has a factor, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's not that the other guy doesn't know what he's doing. But it has this thing, like you can be an old black belt age-wise, and still you can be competitive, and then you can be on the mats, and then you can be training with everybody. That has like, again, you can do it for the long term, right?
Absolutely. Speaking on that, actually, you say that a lot of stuff about, you remember we talked about at the beginning about how there's sometimes lots of motivation, kind of like, I feel this myself. It's not even motivation, just life happens and then you can't come back. But why do you think people keep coming back? Why do you think, what do you think draws people, even when you stop for a little bit, you want to come back to the mats?
I don't know. I mean, I can talk about myself. Like, it was just the fact, like, I like the physical challenge. And I love how I felt after training.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't get that feeling in doing another thing for me. Having said that, though, when you come back, it's horrible.
Why is it?
Every time you come back, you're starting. pretty much from scratch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Kind of building up your technique again,
Yeah.
your
Fitness.
fitness, horrible.
Yeah.
And the fitness takes, you know, some time to come back so you can get back properly.
Yeah.
And then what you remember is your version, your last version.
Yeah.
You quit or when you stop.
Yeah.
And then that person is not there.
It's not the same anymore.
So you have to build up that person again. And
absolutely.
I think I can say that's the part that most people that stop and then they try to come back. That's the part that they struggle the most with, because they remember how they were, and they cannot accept, like, you have to start from scratch. Just start from scratch. Eventually you're gonna catch up again.
They're like basically, I mean, you're a beginner, white belt again. It might
just start like with that mentality. That doesn't mean you are like, because you have certain understanding, certain, like, there's things that you have, like technique and everything, but like physically you're not the same person. You're not fit. You're not. Your technique is not sharp anymore. If you accept that, like, okay, I just start from scratch. Come back.
Absolutely.
You're gonna get there faster than you did last time.
Yeah. That's something that is good to keep in mind.
But I think that's what people struggle a lot. More than I have seen more that than people stopping and coming back. I have some examples of that, but most of the examples are like people that stop and then they try to come back and then I know it's too hard.
Well, I'm gonna have to feel that again when I go back, because I'm looking forward to it. I think it's like,
I think it's that, and also the fact, like, if you go back to the same place, all the guys that they still are training obviously are better, and then you cannot accept, oh man, I will be that good, but like
and they're just like submitting you every turn. No, you're right, and you have to just deal with the banter that comes with.
But it's a long-term game, right?
Exactly,
like
25 years, like you were saying, and more.
For me, like, most of the training partners that I have, like, we will train together all the time. I will be the last one in getting promoted all the time because things, right? But I was the first one in getting the black belt.
That's what matters.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything to it, but like, put some perspective in the sense, like, it's a long-term game, and it's about you. It's not about the person next to you.
Absolutely.
It's like, you never know. You might stop training with that person and training somewhere else, or that person training somewhere else. It's like in 10 years, things move, right?
Absolutely. Exactly. All right, final question. If someone's afraid, we've talked about jiu-jitsu and we've kind of set it up as this, it is an amazing sport, but people do definitely, they're fearful to start. I think, we've talked about that before. If someone's in that mindset where they want to start, they've heard what you said, kind of like, they're curious about jiu-jitsu, but they're afraid. What advice would you give to them? Like, apart from just come to the mat, get started, how do they get started, you think?
It's just make the first move, check what's around you, or do the research, and maybe try a few places and see, every gym has their own culture, their own ways to run the classes, obviously different people. Jiu-jitsu is very particular because pretty much every gym works differently in many ways. So, like, from the techniques that they show, the way that they structure the classes, the way that they operate. Some gyms are more relaxed than others. So don't judge the book by its cover, but try different places until you find the one, like, oh, maybe this is not as intimidated as I thought, or I felt comfortable here. Because at the end, jiu-jitsu is kind of personal, right? You are working with close contact. You have to be comfortable there, right?
Absolutely.
It's just trying, and now you have so many options. Like 10 years ago, you might have not a gym in the area.
Yeah.
Now, like pretty much every area has like at least one gym.
Yeah.
Or close by, you know, like you're maybe 20 minutes from somewhere to train now. At least in London, right? Yeah, just try a few places, do your homework of, you know, don't show up without telling anyone, you know. That's important. I think that's important as well. Like that tells you also like something from the other end, tells you something about the other person. Like, you know, if they know what they are coming to, right? Sometimes we have people like come, have no clue what's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it's like, and I find it very, I didn't think this is what I was gonna do.
What did you
research, right? But yeah, do your homework.
Yeah.
But do the first move. That's important.
Like,
go to your trial class.
Yeah.
Try a few places, and train consistently. Like that's the thing. Being consistent with the training. If you just come once a week, or in a month you come 1 week, yes, the next week no, you're not gonna learn anything. Just be kind of like
consistent.
Consistent is to be honest, is the most important part. If even you do twice a week, if you come twice a week, every week, you're gonna get somewhere.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that consistency, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
I mean, the good thing is the jiu-jitsu has this immediate hook. If you like understand it, if you like, you know, like we were talking about, you know, you go home and you feel that fun and you just immediately get hooked and you want to come and you want to be consistent.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. It's easy, kind of easy to be consistent once you put the work in, put the time in to understand that, you know, you're not always going to win or submit, or like, you know, it's going to take progress to get better.
Yeah.
Once you understand that and you accept that, it's just...
Yeah, it's just be consistent and patient as well.
Yeah.
Be patient with your progress. Because some people take longer than others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people are not as athletic or as coordinated, or so it will take maybe longer, maybe short, maybe less. But like being patient with yourself and consistent. That's one thing that I always do. I always say, especially with people I can see that they would struggle with flexibility, or maybe with coordination or something. Like I always tell them, like, but you can see potential, right? I always tell them, like, just be patient, be consistent. Like if you stick with it, it will come.
Absolutely.
If you put the work, it's like there's no way it won't.
Yeah.
Like, just being patient. Like it might take you longer, but don't see the guy next to you. Like focus on your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. That would be kind of like what I would say. Like, you know, don't just do it now. If you do your research, do your trial classes, join the club that you like, and be consistent and patient.
I completely agree. Well, Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you
for your time today. It's been amazing. It's been incredible.
All the best.
Thank you so much, guys. Check out Studio NW2 with Coach Enrique. I hope I'll get some time to train here soon, because I think, you know, you have an amazing gym, you have an amazing space here. You're an amazing coach. And thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
it.
All right, guys. Until next time. Peace.